Maybe we were wrong about the backrooms. Maybe it didn't die. Maybe it didn't collapse under its own weight or lose its meaning or drown in canon wars and content farms and 10,000 identical Unity games with the same flickering lights and fake grain filters. Maybe the truth is simpler and a little harder to accept. Maybe the backrooms just grew up. Maybe we did too. Maybe what felt like a collapse was just a shift. Maybe the noise, the saturation, the wikis and drama and corporate monetization, maybe all of that was just part of the life cycle of an idea that was too viral to stay liminal forever. Because that's what the backrooms always was, liminality. The in-between. The state of not being something yet. The space between spaces. And how could an idea like that ever stay static? Yes, it started as a photo. A feeling. A single post that whispered. But what followed wasn't some sacred mythology being corrupted, it was evolution. It was transformation in real time. The moment that image hit the internet, it wasn't just ours anymore. It became a container. An emotional language. And language doesn't stay still. Language is spoken, broken, twisted, borrowed, misused, misunderstood, and eventually reborn. That's exactly what the backrooms did. Sure, there were dark moments, endless infighting, the canonization of non-canon material, the flood of uninspired clones and algorithm-chasing content. But buried in all that was a deeper kind of cultural alchemy. People kept creating. Still are, even now. And if you dig beneath the surface-level sludge, what you find is a kind of ongoing remix culture that mirrors exactly what made the internet magical in the first place. A million strangers contributing to a single dream, without asking permission. Because here's the thing, yes, the backrooms got bloated. Yes, it became a 1,000-level mess. But in doing so, it also diversified. Not every level is good. Most aren't. But some are incredible. Some are raw, personal, surrealist slices of existential dread and melancholy that never would have existed if the floodgates hadn't been open. You've got levels written like prose poetry, dream journals, minimalist philosophy. People made whole games not just about survival, but about memory, grief, displacement. Artists took the visual concept and pushed it further, merging it with analog horror, dreamcore, pool rooms, postmodern ruin. Sound designers created ambient soundscapes, playlists, lost tapes. Others turned it into performance art, ARGs, TikTok storytelling, VHS edits, VR installations. Some built simulations. Some deconstructed them. The best creators didn't just mimic level 0, they treated the backrooms as a metaphor, not a setting. And that's when it got interesting again. Even King Pixels, who some blamed for codifying the official version, unintentionally showed us that the backrooms could contain a story without being limited by it. His series became less about the space and more about our obsession with control, surveillance, and the collapse of meaning in the face of artificial order. Async isn't just a plot device, it's the hubris of humanity thinking it can map the unmappable. That's always been part of the horror. And yeah, the Hollywood adaptation might smooth the edges, but that doesn't mean the core is gone. It just means it's migrating again, from image board myth to mainstream metaphor. And while a lot of fans did drift away, others stuck around. Some communities, free of the early turf wars, matured. The bloat became compost. Out of the pile of mediocre levels came curated collections, focused zines, tighter narratives, experimental pieces. People stopped arguing about canon and started treating the backrooms as a sandbox again. Not a single world, but a genre. Not a wiki to be patrolled, but a tone to be explored. Liminal horror. Uncanny space. The existential architecture of the internet age. The cultural memory of dead malls and outdated software and glitching childhoods. A mythos that doesn't need monsters to be terrifying, just emptiness with intention. And honestly, maybe it had to go through all that noise. Maybe the flood was necessary. Because only after everyone burned out could the quieter, weirder, more interesting ideas start to take root again. The Backrooms is no longer just a creepypasta or a series of levels. It's a cultural aesthetic. A language. A reference point. Something you can invoke with a color palette or a sound. Something that haunts not because it's scary, but because it's familiar. The yellow of a childhood classroom. The carpet of an office your dad worked in. The layout of a school you can't remember the name of but dream about sometimes. It's not about not clipping out of reality anymore. It's about realizing reality itself is a little unstable. It always was. So maybe the backrooms didn't fall. Maybe it just flattened, spread out like the rooms themselves. Less vertical, more horizontal. Less narrative, more atmosphere. And if it no longer belongs to any one person, that's because it was never meant to. The Backrooms doesn't want ownership. It wants echoes. Resonance. Memory. It's in architecture. In liminal aesthetics. In music. In dreams. In indie games that don't use the name but capture the feeling. In memes. In art. In empty parking garages at night. In the silence between floors in a hotel elevator. It's become ambient. That's what liminal means. Between. Underneath. Always there. So maybe this is the better version. Not cleaner, not purer, but richer. Decentralized. Weird. Messy. Just like the internet that birthed it. The Backrooms isn't dead. It's everywhere.